Hello and welcome to the awards for 1964 page. So we just crowned our season 3 winner, Bria, winning 8-1 against Nikita. A well-fought season. So first, I know everybody is very curious about the draft, so we will start off with that, if I can find it. Okay, so the draft teams this season. I will start off with the production member who lasted the least amount of time up to the production member who lasted the greatest amount of time. So the production member who was out of the draft first was Sam. Sam's team consisted of Grace, Tim, and Jennifer. So next person out of the draft was actually, it was the person not picked. The person not picked in the draft this season was Jimmy. So Jimmy was not selected in the draft.
You know what? Understandable. Good job. Good job, production. Good job. Smart move.
So Sam, specifically at the latter half of his list, put everybody in alphabetical order. Because he didn't really care. The last two people were Jennifer and Jimmy. Jennifer comes before Jimmy. That's how that happened. Just so
Jimmy, I had you at number 6, so don't do that. I had you at number 6.
Yeah. Okay, so the next person out of the draft was Blake. Blake had Napolito, Jonah, and JG. And that left it down to me, Burks, and Paige.
Good third pick, Blake.
Burks, who actually got his first 3 picks, Burks came in third in the draft. He had Yoshi, X, and Cam. So then the final 2, obviously, me and Paige had Nikita respectively. Paige had Lauren, Julian, and Nikita, meaning that I won the draft. Thank you, Bria. I had Chris, Bria, and Brian. So.
We can't wait till Michael gives me last in the draft next year.
Oh, I am so excited about winning this draft. So, okay. So now to what we are really here for, the awards. So the first award we have to give out is the worst move of the season. So our
Jimmy.
Our nominees for worst move of the season. The first nominee is Jimmy telling Tim about the tower.
That's not as bad as.
The second nominee was Jimmy nominating. And the third nominee was Nikita keeping the nominations the same at Final 4. So that means that we believe if he cut Jonah. So
keep that a one
the worst move of the season winner. Jimmy nominated.
We knew it.
So obviously, Grace was not winning very many competitions. The other options definitely would have been better, but it's a game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the better option was better. The other option was better.
Can I speak on that too? Jimmy, You went after the 3 people who saved you in a 3-2 vote and thought, you know what's brilliant? Let's not put up the HOH or either of the people that voted us out, except for Rhea. What is?
Well, I mean, it seems like you were going to be fake to me too, so it didn't really matter. In fact, all of the people really, except for Grace, looked like they were going to go ahead and just do whatever where my game was concerned. So I thought I was making a better move, but I wasn't. I was wrong.
Okay.
You were definitely wrong.
Okay, you
were definitely wrong. You were definitely wrong.
So the next award is the best move of the season. So these are, the first one was Yoshi using the power of veto on Bria at the Final 5. The second one was Bria targeting Lauren. And the third one was Yoshi targeting Chris.
Didn't he change his mind? He changed his mind. What?
The winner for best move of the season was
Not the third one.
using the POV on Bria at the Final 5. I believe that this was a very good move. It got Yoshi 2 points away from being the final HOH and being in the finals with his final 2 of Bria. Obviously,
Well,
I'll pull it through. But I believe
No,
that.
girl, I was still here.
apparently Yoshi was gonna evict Bria, but you know.
Okay.
Well, I had to say he was going to evict me. Like,
Okay, so our next award is the most robbed pre-juror.
Lauren. Is it the one on call?
The
Our
shade of
nominees are Julian, Jennifer, Lauren, and Brian. We
What? JG.
did the most robbed pre-juror was Julian.
Okay.
What?
What? Believe that Lauren was robbed. However, Julian always comes into games as a big target. We think that he left way too early. So
Aw, thanks.
I do want to speak on that though, with Lauren. I am sorry for like nominating you and stuff. It's just when I heard stuff and like when X told me about the like 4-person alliance that I didn't know about before, it like really drove. I didn't want to target.
Bria, you were on call with Brian, and fucking he told you about the 4, and then I went to Lauren and Chris.
No. You told me about the 4 first, and then I went on call with Brian,
No,
and Brian exposed it as well.
Brian, and he fucking confirmed
No,
it.
you told me about the 4
change my
first.
vote. Change my jury vote.
No. Because Yoshi was in the call. It was me, you, Yoshi, and
Loud
Nog.
noises.
And you told me about the 4 first.
You know what other things are on a call
But
for
here's
your
the
work?
thing,
Why don't we-
Lauren, I targeted you because I did not want to target Chris because Yoshi was Chris's partner. So I didn't never want to target Chris. And I wasn't really close with you and Jimmy at the
Chris.
start. So I thought it would have been the better option.
Chris, your partner being Yoshi saved your life.
I know.
You probably would have got pre-jury.
I was so
happy. Our next award is the most robbed juror. The nominees are Grace, X, Yoshi, and Chris.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Chris.
Come on.
The most robbed juror is Yoshi.
Yeah. That's well
No,
deserved.
I'm salty. I wasn't
Yoshi
even
played a
nominee for
great
that
game this
bullshit.
season. I personally believe that he played a great game. I think that in the final 2, he would have had a great chance. I don't know how you guys officially would have voted, but I think that it would have been a lot closer between Yoshi and Bria than it was Nikita and Bria, even though all 3, I think, played. So.
Well, I'm glad.
Oh, okay. You're canceled, Michael.
Yeah, where's my nomination? What did Chris do? All he did
Girl,
was
show up to your eviction.
It's not my fault. He planned it for when I went on.
Okay. The next award is the biggest underdog. The nominees are Jimmy, Nikita, and Jonah.
Girl.
And the winner is Jonah.
Yes.
Jonah came into this game. Jonah, everybody thought was inactive at the beginning.
Yeah.
Jonah was sending me confessional after confessional at the beginning of this game. He knew where everybody stood. He played a great game. He played under the radar. And then when he needed to, when he was about to be a target, he won the competitions. He was very close, one question off from going into the tiebreaker for the Vita that he won on. Now, I'm not sure that he would have ended up winning the jury vote, but I do think that he's worthy of a win. And nobody, I think, expected that from him. So.
Can I ask Jonah a question?
Someone gonna get that?
Jonah, did you like on that? I remember one HOH that you did not show up to. Was that like strategy or like you just couldn't make it?
No, I couldn't make it. Like I couldn't.
Because I thought that you were trying to do that.
I had work. I was busy, so yeah. It was
okay. I thought you were trying to do that on purpose. I was like, oh my god, my partner's inactive.
Never.
Okay, so our next award is Best Alliance of the season. The nominee.
Wow, I wonder.
The first nominee is Gold Rush. That
barely lost. I forgot that existed. I forgot
that
that.
included X, Grace, Jimmy, Chris, Yoshi, Cam, and Nop.
Should not even be nominated.
Yeah, it was barely even existent. Nobody
The second nominee is Love Galore, which consisted of Cam, Grace, Kim, Julian, and then partially Yoshi.
Yeah, partially, girl.
Yeah,
And
partially.
then the final nominee was the S times 4 2.0, which was Yoshi, Bria, Napolito, and X. Based on your
What did they call it?
S times.
We
4.
then knew they were
No,
Final Four.
That's what the chat was called. So, obviously,
Well, actually, no. We had multiple chats. We just had arguments, so I had to make another chat.
Yeah, we had to see.
I didn't get to say it during the
guys,
jury.
guys, I'm trying to talk. You guys are
Wow. But
okay. So the winner obviously was the S times 4, the Yoshi, Napolito, Bria, and X alliance. I remember being on a house call like day 1 or 2, and those 4 were the ones on the call. They said, let's make an alliance. Next thing you know, it was an alliance chat, and then they were running the game. And so that was an alliance from the very beginning. I remember at the beginning not thinking that this would have any traction, that it would work at all. But then they pretty much ran this entire game. So,
girl, half of them went out between the first 3 rounds of jury.
That alliance also gave
The whole game?
That alliance also gave the best fight I think 1984 has ever seen.
Oh, 100%.
X versus Brie.
Yeah.
Oh, there's been multiple.
I wish I was there for that.
I was just shoveling in my popcorn, watching the show.
I was fucking dragged by Bria, just so everyone knows. I didn't win that fight at all.
I just wish I was there for that because I heard what happened. I'm like, let me in. I want it in.
Oh, I'm sure Michael recorded that.
Me and Michael were messaging each other, and we were like, "Are we gonna record this?" It was entertaining.
Okay, so the next award is the Comp Beast of the season. The nominees there are 5 of them: Yoshi, Chris, X, Nikita, and Bria. The winner was X. The reason being, X won 5 competitions with the most people in the game competing against him. He won 4 comps within, 3 weeks? So, and
one of them
later on. So, and the comps that he didn't win, he was close to winning. So, there it is. It was kind of hilarious to me that the first half of this game, we only had like 3 comp winners. And then at the end of it, we only had like 3 jurors that didn't win anything. So it was a pretty fun thing to see. So yeah. Okay. The next award is the best strategic game of the season. The nominees are Tim, Nikita, and Jonah.
Oh.
Winner of the best strategic game of the season goes to Nikita.
Oh my god! Oh my god! I won something.
Nikita was definitely a strategic beast this game.
Let me stand.
As he said in his final like the jury statements and everything, he might have been like a target to be a nominee, but he was never the majority of the House's target to leave. And I think that's him sitting here today. Yes, he was on the block many times, but he was never really in any danger of actually leaving the game. And I think that his strategic abilities to get himself there were very strong, as well as the fact that he was a deciding vote a good amount of these votes. So there you go.
Aw, you're flattery.
Next, the best social game of the season. The nominees are Yoshi, Nikita, and Grace. The winner is Yoshi. Yoshi came into this game. Everybody who won a comp was either his partner or his ally. And so I think that he was socially able to connect with those people that were strong in competitions, that kept him off the block. Him and Jonah both lasted until the final 4 without going on the block. And I think that is a very hard thing to do in this game. So yeah, Yoshi is the best social game of the season. So now,
for the record, only one person got nominated for all 3.
Okay. Next, the hero of the season. We're getting into the big ones. The hero of the season nominees were Chris, Napolito, and Grace.
Grace.
The winner was Napolito.
What?
What?
What? No. I want to redraw.
What?
As
I want to recount.
believe that Napolito is a very good social game, but also was a very fun character for the audience to watch. And I think that's more why season.
I thought Chris should have won.
No, but a hero saved somebody. Napolito didn't really do anything.
Well,
I
Not
mean,
all
neither did
heroes
you.
wear
Okay.
capes.
Girl, but heroes do something.
Oh, I mean,
All right,
no.
next, the villain of the season. The nominees were X, Bria, and Nikita.
Excuse me?
It's X. I'm not a villain.
There's no way it's not X.
You better keep that on the
I
shelf.
want to put a disclaimer on this one. I did not vote this person as the villain of the season. The rest of
Whoa. Wait.
Oh.
This better not go.
the villain of the season was Bria.
What? What?
I am not a villain.
No, we're recounting this. Who voted? Who voted for your
I
villain?
would like to put out that Bria, you are very manipulative when you turn people against each other, and that is villainous in my book.
The one
who, like, look at
we love
X.
Paige and Blake
No.
voting the person they didn't like the most. We love Paige and Blake.
I also want
X,
to say
well,
something.
X was the villain of the season. I was not the villain of the season.
I just wanted Bria to win awards, so I voted for Bria.
Okay, I can say the one thing about Bria's game that was definitely villainous was the fact that there were multiple times that Bria would go on call with someone and then go on another call with somebody else and let them listen in. That honestly is one of the most villainous things there possibly is in this game. I think that is a great move. It's a very shady move, but it's a very villainous, great move. And I think that would be what qualifies you as a villain of the season.
Yeah, I don't get why I was up there.
Because you were fake as fuck.
Let's
You
think.
said you were fake.
I love not winning villain of the season. I knew I was the nicest guy here. Thank you.
Oh my god.
Girl, something about being nice also plays into being humble. That's something you can afford to work on.
Fuck being
Hey.
humble.
We have 2 more awards. The next award is the player of the season.
Yoshi.
Your nominees are Bria, Yoshi, and X.
Oh, wow.
X.
Me
Player
too.
of the season is X.
What? What?
X,
Who voted for this?
X controlled the majority
Not
of
8th place.
X.
Well, if you would listen to the reason.
X controlled the majority of the pre-jury and then a good portion of half of the post-jury. He was getting pretty much everything he wanted. He basically set the tone for this game. Yes, he did get 8th place, but he set the tone for this game, and that's what player of the season.
I want to say something.
Should have been
X,
Yoshi.
the rest of production, when you won the first competitions in week 1, the rest of the production thought you were the second boot. And I predicted in like the cast assessment that you would get 7. So I was the most woke on you. They all thought you were going to be the second boot.
Oh, every time
thank you, Bird.
X won an HOH, I said, oh, he's going next week. He's going next week. And he surprised me. And he surprised me up to the point that once he was on the block and like ready to go home, I finally said, I actually kind of want X to stay. And so it was very interesting how that dynamic changed. Because I personally wanted to see X leave the game so that we could see somebody else take control of it. But then by the time he was about to leave, I was like, yeah, let's not have him leave now. So I think the passion that you had for this game very much showed. I mean, it very much showed.
Tell me at that.
So, yeah.
We love that.
Yoshi, you were robbed. You were the true player of the season.
Production agreed that we would not shave our eyebrows for a game. So the dedication showed.
At first, I was totally put on there as a joke, and I just left it on there, and then you actually did it. Props to you, honestly. So,
Well, I can't say that.
we have one last award, 10 Gage's favorite. I will say there's one thing about this award. So we had a lot of speculation of spamming for this award. And so because of that, I took it upon myself to go and I messaged all the tagged users from the blogs, as well as any of the alumni that have messaged in the alumni chat within the past couple of weeks, and then any people that I have seen recently comment on blogs. And I did a new poll to make it more fair for everyone. So anybody who's spamming that I saw evidence for, we are on a clean slate because that poll was no longer influenced by spamming. So
Oh wait, did people actually spam for the first one?
I did see some proof of people spamming.
Oh God.
I won't say who it was because we're just going to forget about it. With being switched, it's a clean slate. So I'm only going to say the top 2 because the top 3 with the people. So the top 2 for Tengage's favorite are X and Grace. The winner of Tengage's favorite is Grace.
Yay.
With that is all of the awards for the season. So now I want to open it up to you guys. If you guys have any questions for production that you would like to be answered, you can ask them now. I do ask that we try to only have 1 or 2 people talking at a time because this is getting a little overwhelming.
I think the most important question is, what were the other powers?
Okay, so I might have to go back and look at this. Okay, so
Oh my God.
obviously I don't even
Golden
know
block.
what it's called. The golden block.
Golden block.
The void of vote. So the golden vote meant that you would have had the opportunity, if you would already have a vote that week, you could be the sole vote for eviction. So then we had partner in crime, which was co-HOH. So you would have gotten to name 1 nominee for the week. If they came off, you would have gotten to also name the replacement. I'm trying to think of what the other ones were. There was the golden block, the golden vote, partner in crime. +1 was an extra vote.
Oh.
And then I forget what the other one was.
There's like a double life.
That's what I thought. I thought it was going to be a double life. It was going to be a second life. I'm like, yes.
I'm trying to think of what the other one was.
Wasn't it like something about being doubled or like having 2 of something?
It was something like that.
Yes, seeing double. Seeing double meant that you could choose to allow everybody to play for 2 vetoes.
Oh.
So yeah, so there would have been 2 vetoes.
I like the power I picked.
Well, you misused it, girl.
I mean, if I didn't use it that week, I probably...
No, you would have stayed.
How are we
Yeah, no,
supposed to
but-
win these things, these powers?
Who knows, Jimmy? You never know what Jimmy's going on. You know,
But
when
still,
you
like, if 3 X and I still vote for Chris, you still stay.
well, Yoshi might. Yeah, here's my question to Yoshi: Who was your target
There were 6
after, like, coming like at the eviction? If it came to a tie, who would you? Because I've heard shit from X that you were changing your target. So
Okay, initially it was to evict Chris, and then when the time was coming up, I wanted to evict you.
Told you.
Yeah.
So the only thing is, would I have stayed 4-2 or would I stay 3-3? Who knows?
You probably would have stayed.
I
Honestly,
think
though, me,
Grace wasn't probably going to vote you.
Oh yeah, Bree and X weren't voting me. Who
Yeah.
knows what Jimmy's head's at? Jimmy's
I
head's at.
personally think it was a good move for you to use it when
I
you
voted
did.
you.
I think it was a good move to use it when you did because I think that it got the target of you having that power off of you. You did go and tell people about it. I think that power off of you, and it also secured you staying. So even though you might have stayed either way, I think it was smart for you to use it right away after you told people about it. So
Yeah, it was
honestly, I want to thank
unfortunate
Michael.
timing.
I really want to thank Michael because me and Yoshi had the best calls. We would stay up like 5 hours on a call, and we would fight each other and send it to production.
It was fun. Yeah.
Honestly, I think
One that y'all were literally like pretending to grip each other's weave.
Oh, I love that. I can't.
Oh, I was bawling from laughing so hard.
Yeah, for the most part, the only calls I really was on much this season was the ones with Yoshi, X, Nop, and Bria. Nobody else really did too many calls. Like, there were occasionally a couple other calls, but I feel like almost every day I was on a call with X, Bria, Yoshi, and Nop. And then obviously when Nop left, it was the other three. And then after that, it was just Yoshi and Bria. So, yeah.
Well, to be fair, I went on calls with like a bunch of other people. I just didn't feel the need of like, now let's add 5 people right now. We can't talk.
Yeah, I don't like that rule. I don't like that. I don't 5 people. If an alliance of 2 and then we have like 5.
Honestly, can we have an award for most argumentative and give it to Nikita for argument production after season?
I was trying to stay quiet when they said that they have questions for production. I'm letting y'all go first. Because once we get to me,
my question is, how close was Nikita getting exposed?
Oh, I got like 10 last warnings. I got like warnings from everyone except for Sam, but Sam is never here, so like it.
Hey, Julian, you're most
welcome, Julian. So Julian, just to catch you up, tonight the final vote was 8-1 for Bria to win against Nikita. So Bria is our winner. Also, just so you know, you did win the award of most robbed pre-juror. That's my
His birthday. I mean, it's tea.
Oh yeah, are we down to the question center now?
I'm just looking at Nikita's face real quick. Holy shit.
I know. You know what? I actually look really.
you-
Oh yeah. Long story short, you know, the scarf isn't out of shame. After this, I'm probably going to continue wearing the scarf, but don't I look cute? Oh yeah, X.
You should have saw our reaction.
X, you said you were into black men, so you weren't into me. How about now?
I would say something on that. I made that comment because I had an attraction to Yoshi. It wasn't anything for you or Chris. Although Chris is kind of sexy. But that was because I had an attraction to Yoshi for way before this game started. So that was just where the comment came from.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways, is it my question time? Michael, are you ready?
I can't take this too long.
Yeah, good luck, Michael. Good luck.
Questions. I got a couple.
I have to go because I have another live night I have to attend right now. But Nikita, I'm very proud of you. Good job.
Thank you, girl.
Thanks, Julian.
Okay, rule. No more talking about me losing, otherwise I'm gonna cry.
lost.
Okay. So, Michael. So, why would sending the pre-jurors our goodbye messages be a form of cheating?
So what you are addressing is that you wanted you wanted to personally send your goodbye messages to the pre-jurors because as production we were behind on a couple things and those were not sent out. So in this game we had a rule against anybody that was a part of the jury phase for communicating with the pre-jury. So that would have been by you personally sending it to them, that would have been like breaching that line. And yes, I understand that as production, we could have sent them. However, at that point in the game, we were at about like final 7, final 8, and there was way too much game in your guys' production chats for us to go back and send them. But there was nothing like game affecting if we didn't send them. Whereas if we didn't send them to the jurors, I could see your point because the jury definitely has it's an effect on their vote if they see or don't see the goodbye messages, but then it doesn't affect the game if pre-jury doesn't see them. But had you personally sent it to them, that would be breaching the line of a juror contacting a pre-juror.
Yeah, but when I offered to re-upload it, you said that was the last line and I was being rude and disrespectful and you weren't repeating it again. So what's really the truth?
The problem with that was that production had already told you that we weren't sending them and we weren't going to use our time, that we were trying to do other things and send out the messages of the jurors as well as other things in our lives. We just did not have time to be able to do that. And the fact that if you were sending them in, it was like we had already said no, and we were not going to waste our time doing that when you could right now go back and send it to them, because the pre-jury obviously knows that you aren't allowed to talk to them. So if you aren't talking to them, it's not like you are being rude to them or anything. It's just part of the rules of the game. So.
Well, I mean, it's not wasting time when you say you're going to do it and then you don't do it. And your response is like, we're just not going to do it.
Oh, I understand. But at that time, production was unable to send the messages for whatever reason. And we told you that we weren't going to send them at this time, but you were more than welcome to post-game send them to them. The fact that you kept pushing the issue was more of an issue than the beginning issue to start with. So I think the problem that you had in this game with production was the fact that you didn't know when to stop, and you kept pushing arguments after you were asked to stop multiple times, and it became very frustrating to production to have to deal with that. And I think also the little comments that you would make about everything got very frustrating and disrespectful to production, that every little thing that you said was very condescending to production. And I think your attitude right now is also the same way. So I think this whole season, or maybe not the whole season, but at least like since the week 7 Power of Veto, production has felt very disrespected by you through a lot of issues, and that is what has led us up to this right now. So,
can I ask Blake a question? Okay, Blake, you're on a lot of the calls with me, Yoshi, X, and Nop. How did you feel about our whole like quadruple love triangle, our quadruple love triangle with Yoshi and Nop and me and X, and Yoshi and X and me and Nop? How do you feel about it?
I felt like I was watching like a reality TV series, honestly. I thought I was watching like Sister Wives or something.
That was fun.
So good. I remember like you would come on call to play Roblox with X. That's all I have. Ooh. Oh yeah, also does Paige hate me because like I'm sorry.
No, okay. I think the issue with both you and Paige is that you both thought each other didn't like each other, and I think that made you both like kind of have a bad taste in your mouth for each other. I don't know what started it. Paige definitely does not hate you at all. I think it was just the fact that you thought she didn't like you and she thought you didn't like her, and I think that's kind of how that.
Well, it's not
because
like she doesn't make little comments herself.
Yeah, because like sometimes like I would be on call with like Yoshi and stuff, and like I would like be joking around with Blake or be joking around with you, and then like she would come in and be like, "Do not attack my friends," and I was not really attacking y'all. It's just like we were joking, and that's like
Paige is like that with everyone, even myself.
Yeah. But
okay, because that's what I thought that she disliked in me. Because like when she's like, "You're not Paige."
I can say with Nikita, I think that there were times that production had finished a conversation and then somebody else from production might have come in just seeing the conversation for the first time, and then they made a comment about it. And I think that is something flawed with production, is that we should have had a better communication of when to stop continuing an issue with you. However, when you're asked to stop, you're asked to stop. So.
Well, not when I'm right.
Oh my God.
Okay, I have a question now.
Here we go.
Yes.
Will we be getting added to the alumni chat like
Oh my
soon,
God.
or will that be?
So how that'll work is I am going to be posting the blog, and then after the blog is posted, then I will add everybody to the alumni chat.
Are we allowed to see the history for the alumni chat or no?
Yeah, I want to see all the hate I got.
And I got like
We'll see.
told off.
That's the difference in the jury chat, because in Big Brother, you don't get to go back and watch everything that happened in the jury house before you were there. You only get to see what happened after you're there. So that's why it was not acceptable that you turn the chat history on in the jury house. So.
Well, I got to see some good tea, so I respect your role.
Well, Michael, can we see the alumni? Because technically, after the show, they're able to go back and scroll through the tweets. So, can we?
How was the jury house? I mean, there was a lot of rumors. I personally said that, like, especially with the first 4 of you, and then the 2 of you that came next, and then the 2 that came after, I thought the jury house was going to be in flames.
Oh, that jury house was popping.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Napolito and Blake flirting every fucking day. I mean,
also, Yoshi, your showman was cheating on you.
I mean, Napolito will flirt with
like,
anything.
Is he wrong?
By the way, Nikita, your probably best chance of winning was against Jonah. That's probably
I
why.
mean,
it's-
it does kind of hit me very hard that, like, I saw myself winning the game.
I
Canada
definitely think that
I mean, I think Nikita, I think you were cocky as fuck this game, especially with your questioning with your answers to the jury. You were disrespectful to the fucking production, and it was honestly annoying. I don't see how you would have won against anyone. I probably would have voted Jonah over you just for your attitude in the game.
I think it's just mainly because in the game, I sort of take it as like a form of etiquette to just be very, like, I think it showed in production, but I really have like the devil on my shoulder to pretty much, like, I have, none of you probably even know this, but I have like little ticks from each of you for why I was like, you know, if they come at me wrong once, I'm going to blow them. Like, I had that with everyone. And so I think when I came to the jury, or when I came to the finale, I was just like, okay, we're just going to let it out slowly. I feel like if I had held my composure for the top 2, it could be accused of being even more fake. But if I like let it out all the way, I could be like, production can say I was feeling my oats all throughout the competition, but I like to think the other house guests couldn't see that.
I personally think that Nikita definitely played a game worthy of a win. He obviously, as I had said before, he was never really anybody's target to actually leave the game. I think that there were times that maybe he was 1 vote away and somebody could have easily flipped for him to leave. But I think that he did a great game, right up there with Yoshi and Bria personally.
And why wasn't I nominated for Player of the Season?
I don't think that that the jury gave you as much credit, but I also see why, because I think it was more the social reasons. Like, I think that your goodbye messages, which is kind of ironic, your goodbye messages is what I think lost you this game, because I think you were too fake in them. I think you were too nice. I think you needed to be more straight to the point. And obviously, honestly, I would look at this kind of like Paul, because I think that
like Bree was like Bree was like, I voted you out. I have Nikita and Yoshi around my thumbs, and you were like, I wanted to save you, but I had a final 2 with Grace, which I immediately broke. Like it's not.
Yeah, I think like
you're good. I really did rub people the wrong way, and I even stated it after I saw that yours was sent to mine. I was like, Nikita just lost my vote then and there. I tried to look at your game and be like, okay, I did even in jury round. I was trying to make good points for your game, but I just couldn't help but think you didn't own up to any game moves, which I think a lot of people would have respected. And since we didn't see you do much, since you were obviously playing socially and strategically, no one actually saw anything you did. So when you didn't either own up anything you did in this game. It wasn't good for you. I think it was just a whole mess.
Yeah.
I will say, I do think the jury did underestimate Nikita a lot. I think Nikita did play one of the best games this season, start to finish. Strategically, like super strong. Socially, I think he did well. Production.
Well, what everyone was saying too, because you're an easy beat. I mean,
I do think Nikita did play one of the best games this season.
And then going back to like the Paul thing, Paul is goodbye messages, always like really sugar-coated things, did not own up to his game. And I think that's exactly what you did. And then also Burks pointed out something to me that that I also saw in Paul at during like while Bria was talking, you were making faces and being very disrespectful to her. And that is something that Paul did as well. He was making faces at Josh. He was making faces with Nicole's answers. And that really turned the jury off. And I think that that's kind of what happened here as well.
Wait, so Michael, you're saying that his face reveal actually ruined?
No, the way he was making faces.
But even did that in other times in the game as well, like even just gestures doesn't necessarily mean faces, but like the gestures that you're making.
Well, in defense of that, every single juror that asked me a question made me go first. So like Bria would be able
that's
to
not true.
Let it go first.
No, you took the man on going first.
No,
I don't think that.
You just went for it. No, we didn't.
Gestures.
Because apart from like Nopolito, which I guess they probably could have waited on. Like Jonah asked me to go first. I think X asked me to go first. Tim asked me first. You know what I mean?
No, I only asked you to go first.
I don't think that has any effect on your gestures that you're making while Bria was talking, though.
Right, but like if Bria can respond with her words and say things that weren't true, then like what could I do? I thought
you could fight back in the next
comes
year.
off as disrespectful though. Even still the way it comes off, like not that you shouldn't get to respond, but the way you responded seemed disrespectful to the other house guests.
Well, the other house.
Well, with that, let's get back to the game and not over Nikita, because I'm sure production has a lot more they want to tell us. Spill the tea, bitch.
I don't know what else you want me to say. Hi, Grace.
Hi, Grace. Can y'all catch me up on everything that I know Bria won 8-1, but what about the awards?
So, you won America's favorite player.
You won 10 Gage's favorite.
I was hero of the season.
No, you should have been.
Oh.
You won 10 Gage's favorite. So with the 10 Gage's favorite poll though, so there were some people that were spamming. So I made a new poll and sent it out to just people.
Who would have been the winner of that one, or did you not look?
I'm not going to reveal that.
I mean, can I ask something?
I guess it was the person that spammed then.
I mean,
wait, so hold up. I won 10 Gage favorite?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Oh my god, I love my people.
I will say that Grace was at least in the top like 3, I think, of the original poll. So it still reflected everything. So,
but Michael, you did also mention that if anyone was caught with like traces of spamming for a particular house guest, that house guest would be disqualified. Did that go through to the second poll?
I can say that Grace was not one of the people that I had any.
You know that's not who I'm referring to.
But all that matters.
Grace was one of the people who what?
Grace won it, and she wasn't one of the people that I had any proof of spamming. So
I did not spam. I played fair. Fair game.
Honestly, I don't spam.
Michael, you know that's not what I was asking.
I don't think you're gonna get the answer.
It didn't affect the winner, so it doesn't matter.
Girl, you know that's not the question I asked.
Who won the other awards?
X won Player of the Season, even though he got 8th. Nopolito got Hero of the Season, even though he didn't do anything heroic. Bree got Vilnius, even though there was X.
I
don't agree with any of the awards. If I'm not being honest.
I was not a villain. Okay, everyone
He's
can
kind of
What were the other ones?
Most physical went to X. I got most strategic. Bria got social. Jimmy got
Yoshi.
I did not get
Yoshi.
social.
Yoshi got social.
Jimmy got worst move. S.
I put it by nominating you. Yeah.
I have no idea what in the world possessed him to do that, but whatever.
I know, that was so stupid. I wasn't winning.
Is Jimmy still on? Is Jimmy still on?
Crack Justice, whatever you put in the juju to make him think it was a great idea to keep you safe, you need to pass that over to Canada, girl. Because I have no idea what you did.
What about the other ones that you haven't told me yet?
Best move was Yoshi using the veto at best move was Yoshi using the veto at like top 5 to get Jimmy out.
Rob pre-juror, Julian, Rob juror.
Yoshi.
Who was Rob juror?
Who was Rob juror again?
Yoshi.
And then the best alliance was the alliance of Yoshi, X, Bria, and Napolito.
Because we actually talked every day.
I feel like none of the group alliances really did much work for each other. Like, none of them really worked out all that well.
At least I won another award, though, and I'm happy about that. Thank you, Tinker.
I wasn't nominated for any.
Well, that's because you didn't do
Wait,
anything.
Cam, you were nominated for the funniest underrated person.
No, you weren't. No, you weren't. No, you weren't.
Okay, Tim.
Was I nominated for any? Was I nominated for anything that I didn't win?
You were
Hero.
for best social game and hero.
I cannot hear you.
Yeah, let me
Hero
talk,
and what?
guys. You were nominated for best social game, hero of the season, and then most robbed juror. And then you were nominated for best alliance with Gold Rush and Love Galore, but it was kind of obvious that neither of those were best alliance. So.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
hell
both
no.
flopped.
Was there any
No.
other alliances that were like that lasted at least a long chunk of time, even if it wasn't like at the beginning?
It wasn't for a long chunk of time, but for like 4 weeks or so, there was Grimkit, which was Grace,
who was part of that?
Grace, Tim, Nikita, but that didn't
Yes,
last.
that was another good alliance, but they never really. There was nothing. You guys
Because we never won a power. We never won.
Oh yeah.
Oh wait, the
Michael.
international connection.
There was another alliance, and it was me, Nikita, and X.
What about that?
Yeah, I am still enraged with you. I'm still enraged with you, X, that you pretty much lied to me at every turn.
I want to know something.
Over it. I wasn't coming to this game to be like that.
I mean, but you guys for like an honest player, you lied a lot.
I only said I was honest because I was only going to be honest to Yoshi, Bree, and Nop. I made that whole alliance because I was like, okay, if I don't nominate you week 1 or I don't nominate you again, you're there. But I wasn't here to be loyal. I said multiple times, even when I was about to leave, that I wasn't here to be loyal.
Yeah, so I'm not attacking you. I'm stating
No,
fact.
I know, but I think it's hypocritical that you can say that when you were
beautiful.
kind of a fake bitch in this game. So, I mean, don't call me out when you
I wasn't saying I wasn't fake. I was just saying
No,
you
I'm
lied.
just
to me.
saying.
Wait, what did Grace want to say though?
Who knows?
I wanted to know the draft teams, and I wanted to know if I was the one who didn't get picked.
No, it
you
was
were
Jimmy.
You
It
were
was
on
Jimmy.
Sam's draft team.
Sam, I love you.
You were the 5th person picked, I believe.
Who got picked first?
The draft order was Chris, Napolito, Yoshi, Lauren, Grace, Tim, Julian, X, Jonah, Brian, Bria, JG, Cam, Nikita, Jennifer, Jimmy.
Damn, I was that far?
Jennifer was second to bottom.
I
Okay,
was
that
that.
makes sense.
Wait, hold on, Blake. We played Survivor together. You were supposed to pick me. What happened?
Oh, honey, I know how you. I said in my fucking cast assessment, I was like, this girl is not going.
Oh, the cast assessment.
Where's the cast
Are we gonna see that?
assessment?
It'll be posted.
Yeah, I want to hear the cast assessment.
Everything
Yeah,
will get
I want to hear that shit.
Oh,
Since I was picked so low.
I do have a few opinions over this couple things.
Well,
All right, let's hear Blake's opinions.
The
Oh,
first
God.
person to actually do
Blake's
it.
tea time. With me?
Yes.
What
In
did
the
I
very-
do?
In the very beginning of this season, we were going on people's Facebook friend list and sending screenshots to everybody, but nobody realized this, which I was shocked about, but you were exposing yourself because you were friends with that person and it said you have mutual friends with them. So I was like, this guy is not thinking about this.
I was friends with Grace. That's why I picked her, and because she always takes me out. And this happened this season. But I was also friends with
There's
Julian.
another reason you picked me too. You said it too.
Yeah,
You were friends with me
the
too.
only person I unfriended this season that I was trying to hide was me and Nop, and then me and Yoshi. I was friends with them, but we all unfriended each other.
We all knew though.
Yeah, everyone knew. You were
Everybody
very
knew
unsuccessful.
That. Like,
you were very unsuccessful.
It's because no, people knew though. It was because not.
That's
friends.
one thing I liked about myself. People didn't know about my shit.
That's because Bree, I didn't even know about you. The only person I heard that knew about you was Bree.
I mean, well,
I played a game with you, Nop and Yoshi.
Oh, this is one thing I've really wanted to say this whole season. Casting. The reason we came to the conclusion of this cast was because, so we had a decent amount of applicants, but as you all know, you had to send in a video to be considered to be on the season. We had 16 people send us videos. So those 16 people became the cast of season 3. So that is how we decided to cast. And so that also led to there being 5 people from Love Galore on the cast. That led to Lauren and Chris, them both being on the cast because of their meetup. That left us with the Yoshi Grace X alliance, as well as Napolito. So I know there were some concerns about pre-mades at the beginning of this game. However, there was not much choice for that on production side.
I don't think any of the so-called pre-mades had any effect though, because a lot of those so-called people ended up turning on each other.
Yeah, people didn't know
especially
that.
Love Galore. Like I could have told you Love Galore was not gonna.
And Michael, did anybody from so me and the people from 10 Gays Drag Race kind of had a chat. Did anybody ever apply other than me? Because we had a whole chat that we were at least 2 of us were going to apply.
I don't believe that anybody else did, unless they did and I didn't know that was them. But I don't believe anybody else did.
Okay, because the other person that I think would apply would be Zilke or Robin. I don't know his real name.
Mason.
Oh, Mason. Yeah, Mason.
Well,
Season
Mason
4 is right around the corner.
Wait, I want to know if I was the last one to apply.
Let me see. I can go and confirm who was the last one. I know that Bria was one of the last to apply.
Also, Bria.
Huh?
Honey, you said you were not villainous in this game.
I wasn't.
Do you realize that all the outside influence in the game, aka BB Damien, was because of you?
It wasn't because of me.
From what I understood from the situation, Damien made a blog and then X went to go find out about it. And that's how it got spread. Which y'all were kind of messy for not punishing that.
Okay. I'm going to clear that up. Okay. So.
Wait.
My friend, who is the owner of an account named Surviving Reality, he was on BB Damien's account. His name is Nick. I told him, well, when he found out about me being in the game, I knew that he was going to post about it, but I didn't want it to be directed towards me. I didn't want me to be in the post, but he still did it. So I had to figure out a way to make it seem like it was somebody else. And while everybody was attacking Jennifer, I told him if anybody messages him, if he can like divert it to Jennifer. So the alumni chat with Jennifer is not even a true thing. Jennifer didn't do shit.
I feel like production is a little shady for letting that go on.
Well, there was no rule that I couldn't do that. There's people that were outside influences, not just for me, but for other people.
I still think X was the villain of the season.
Why do people think I was villain though? Because I mean, granted, I wasn't loyal, but is it just because I wasn't loyal, or
because you were
not loyal?
Because you were lying 90% of the time.
For me, it's because you come across as very arrogant. I know Pop the kettle black.
I am arrogant though. I have a reason to be arrogant when I show up and do something.
Okay. But you know, it just like I said this to someone else along the way, but I felt like you didn't like talk to people like just for fun. It felt like everything felt very.
No, like, I mean, it was. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not. People don't get this because I am cocky and arrogant. I will agree to that. But people don't realize that I don't like going out of like my way to meet new people. So I kind of stuck to people that I felt that I may have known, which is why Tim was so easily able to play with me, and which is why I kept him safe for so long. I wanted to believe that that's someone I know. I don't have to put much work to at least prove that. But
we played a while ago.
I was real with myself. I got to know Grace. One knew I got to know. Me and Grace bonded a lot more, even though she ended up taking me out because I turned on her. So
and you ended up turning on her.
Yeah, I did, and it break the deal that I made us make. But I don't like meeting new people. It was hard for me to do that, and I don't think people realize that I'm actually shy in real life. So to go out of my way to meet new people was kind of hard. I'm not gonna lie.
A big shout out to Brian. I remember I was at Brian just joined the call, not X, but the other Brian Jones. I remember I was at the airport when he asked me to apply for this game.
I did.
So I would have never applied for the game if it wasn't for Brian.
Brian, just so I want to catch you up. Our winner tonight at a vote of 8-1 was Bria. She beat Nikita.
Who was she again?
Nikita.
Honestly, personally, I would say good winner. Game-wise, I would say good winner. I mean, the only reason why I say that is because apparently somebody in this game said to a whole chat that the reason why I did not do good was I made alliances with every single person here.
That sounds like something I said, but a little similar. I said that you made like a bunch of alliances the hour before eviction, and then after you went home, you were like, if this stayed loyal, the game would have been different. Girl, if you made it, if you actually, okay, if you want to talk to me, if you want to step into my office. Girl,
well, you were talking about me when I wasn't even on the call. Like
I absolutely was, and I'll do it again. Because the only time you ever spoke to people was when you needed it. Like you were in a race for last. You were less talkative than Jonah, and then all of a sudden, when you were nominated, you're like, "Oh boy, how could this happen?" It's like I actually have to talk to people to do well. Girl, this is Big Brother. You need to talk about more than shop and how you hate Minnie and K-pop. It's just something you need to do. You rested on your laurels with an alliance of 3 people. And then you got mad when you got nominated.
Wait, what alliance? I never had a solid alliance in this game.
Actually, what we're not going to do is interrupt me. And then you sorry. Okay. I mean, I got nominated for villain of the season, so I have to act it now.
Yeah, is that why you're nominated as villain? Is because you're a villainous to production? I think that's the reason.
It's because I do think I operate with a little bit of, I tend to, the way that I get my mind together is to be like, Nikita, you are number 1. And what comes with that is like, everyone else is like, not number 1, you know? So in my confessionals, I don't know if they'll get posted, but I said I was playing the best game from the beginning. I was like, I'm so gonna win. So maybe that's why. Maybe they just got sick of me. But about you, Brian, I mean, you didn't put in the effort that the rest of the people were, and then you were shocked when you were going, girl, it's your own fault.
How can I be shocked when I was told? She literally came to me right before it happened. Like literally, like 3 people told me that I was going home. So how is it me
But
being
you were
shocked?
you were told you were going home when you were up the first time.
No, I wasn't told I was going home. I was told I was going home the first time, and I wasn't.
Well, that's because Nikita changed his mind last second.
You're welcome, by the way.
I haven't. You said that you did it.
question.
So
I have a question for Brian. So, Brian, was there ever an alliance with you, Cam, Lauren, and Chris? Because it was
no, there wasn't. The thing is yes, I am
There
friends
was
with
not.
literally all of
How
them.
many times do I have to say it?
But there was never an actual alliance. I'm friends with all of them, but like Lauren, I literally didn't speak to except for our snap streaks. Chris, I honestly didn't speak to at all, and Cam, I talk to when like he's not depressed. So never.
Well, then another reason why
I mean, he's
I
not
guess
wrong.
and that's another reason why I'm sorry that I nominated Lauren because I thought that was an alliance for when I was
To be
a kid.
honest, I do believe that sort of core 4 idea came from the fact that like it was just Chris and Lauren were obviously going to be working together, and Jimmy, being the person who created it, would already have been under so much fire. And on top of that,
wait, who that created it?
Jimmy. Like the eight.
No,
And
he's,
then,
he's talking about the gold rush. That's what he's talking
Yeah,
about.
so like out of the people from the Gold Rush, you know, Jimmy created it.
That was the Gold Rush.
Under enough fire.
Oh,
And
Brian,
then
you wasn't
Nopalito-
attitude either.
Nopalito and Yoshi were already like they had enough people to carry them through whatever.
I don't
And
think
if-
I don't think Brian was in the gold rush, Nikita.
No, he wasn't.
Since I wasn't in anything.
Well,
Because he had shit partners that no one wanted to be in the Gold Rush with him. People, the whole reason the Gold Rush created was because it was solid people that when they were surrounded by. And there were people that didn't want to be targeted right away.
Yeah, I think the 4 of you just got singled out because you were the easiest to single out. Like if someone said something about Grace and X that it wasn't true, we would be hearing about it for the next 3 years. And then the 4 of you tend to be the quietest.
There was something that was true though that was said about us, and we didn't hear it for 4 years. So I mean, the fact that me, Yoshi, and Grace were a pre-made and we weren't.
I mean, that was a really bad pre-made.
And on top of that, whenever
The pre-made was you and Nop.
and with you
knew
and
Grace,
Grace.
but I knew Grace, but I didn't want to. I wasn't planning on working with her.
Wait, I have a question. Who was the person that orchestrated the me and Yoshi were ex's sheep?
Yeah, I would love to know that too.
Who was that person?
I mean,
was it you, Nikita?
I mean, okay, if we're to be honest,
Okay. In my let me turn on the light for this one.
honestly,
Let me see on.
I think people have told me that, but like Nikita knows more on the period, so I don't know.
I do not think I orchestrated it. I think that just with Bria and X always going on calls together, and with Yoshi making the decision to go after Chris instead of X, I think it just at some point became very clear that some people weren't willing to make a move against X. And when you two voted to save him over Jimmy, it just kind of like, there's the proof in the pudding, girl.
Well, here's the thing with that. We were all in an alliance, and with me, when X would tell me to do something on my HOH, we would argue, and I told him I was not going to do it.
I did tell the jury that there was a lot of things that I couldn't convince you to do, and there was a bunch of stuff I couldn't convince Yoshi to do as well. But I'm glad you're saying it because they didn't believe me when I said it. So,
well, yeah, like we would argue and like get into screaming matches over the subject. So.
But like
we were never his sheep. We just wasn't going to go against the alliance, and especially me, I was not going to go against the alliance. The only alliance that was actually true when everybody else was actually like.
I mean, I feel like
I'm not going to sheep an alliance. I'm just going to never go against it.
Girl, would you go against your own alliance if you had nobody else? I was not going to.
Wait, but you did have other people that had that.
And on top of that, you just sat.
Plus, X was my showman.
Yeah.
Can I?
But you,
Can I
I
just
mean,
say
at the
something?
end of the day, you said that you weren't going to sheep an alliance, but you didn't do a single thing that they didn't want you to do. So
Yeah,
I mean,
actually, Chris and Yoshi never went up when it was me and not pushing for it. There was a lot of things that she didn't do.
right?
When you
Even if
in your ears, you would realize that she had said that.
Who
You got
muted him?
it wasn't
Somebody
me.
muted him.
Yes.
You can mute on this?
I didn't know that.
I didn't
It's
know that either.
Michael.
I thought only Michael could do it.
That's what I thought too.
I
But I
did not.
mean,
So.
at the end of the
Can
day,
Can I say something really quick about like this whole sheep situation? I just want to say, I obviously going to disagree with it because when everybody had to vote for who they wanted to be the first HOH, I did not vote for X. I voted for Bria. And then on top of that, X wanted Jenny gone, X wanted Lauren gone. And for the first evictions, I voted the opposite way of X. So I'm just saying.
I can confirm Yoshi and Bria were definitely not sheep of X. So
I mean, maybe.
I mean, okay, well, I
don't
mean,
think
I wouldn't say
you were not
sheep.
production, so you don't.
What do you mean?
Wow.
I wouldn't say sheep, but I mean, they did protect him to an extent.
Yeah, we were going to protect our alliance.
How about they were very loyal to X.
Yeah, they were very loyal.
Here's the thing with me and Yoshi. We were going to protect because here's the reason why we didn't target X is because we made that alliance and we made a whole deal like we're going to die with this alliance. We were going to protect X even though X was in like a lot of scandals. But when X wanted something done, more than half of the time, me and Yoshi would disagree with it. And more than half of the time, it'll be just a huge argument about it.
The only person who agreed to anything I said every time was Nop. So
Wow, who was shocked? Who was shocked?
If we were going to sheep X, I promise you, some of you wouldn't even be in the jury.
Well, then, pardonnez-moi. You did not sheep him. You were just going to protect him until the very end.
I
Great.
definitely think that it was more of a situation that they were using him as a shield rather than.
Girl, I was just repeating.
No, because they weren't going to cut him. It's not using him as a shield.
Oh, there were definitely times that they were considering cutting him. So.
Yeah, there was a lot of times when me and Yoshi were on call talking to each other saying, well, maybe we should just go ahead and like let X go and do all that. There was a lot of times for that. So,
I mean, I can really understand. Like, I really get it. X was really good at like competitions, and he wouldn't nominate you guys. I really get it, and I really understand it.
And it's just like, why would we go against somebody who was the house's target just to make us bigger? Yeah. Well, especially me, since I won competitions and stuff. Why would I when I was considered the next big target?
Well, I wasn't questioning your logic. No matter what your motives were, the end result, Nikita was still correct. So
correct about what?
Everything.
The fact that you weren't gonna, at the end of the day, you weren't gonna go against X, and you didn't.
Right, but that's not the choice of language that you use when you call the sheeps.
I do not remember.
So you were not correct about the sheeps.
I do not remember ever saying the word sheep, but I know I was definitely a big prophet.
You just said that at the
wait, I thought you just called them sheep.
Well, like in the game, I didn't use the word sheep.
Nikita explained herself as just like her jury answers and why she lost.
Oh, girl, at least they made it to the jury. Don't make me send you home a second time, girl.
I mean,
Don't
hon,
make
at
me
least
do
I
it.
was out front doing shit, and then they have to.
I won the same amount of competitions as you did, girl.
Honestly, I did
won
not
the
make
same
the
amount of
jury,
competitions.
but I feel like I really should have made the jury.
I mean, you should have made it over Cam. I still don't know what Cam did in the jury.
I love Cam. Honestly,
But
Cam is
to
one
be
of my
honest,
favorites.
it is
Okay, Nikita, you were a
I mean,
snake this whole game.
Wait, you know what
Like-
Cam did? Cam literally voted in minority every single time. That's
But Ryan, to be honest,
Like, don't even
you
bring up
are-
my fucking name, bro. Don't even
You
bring up
are
my
your
name.
own reason
Don't
you
even
went
even
home.
think about
I mean,
trashing me.
and I don't care that I went home. I only played this game because it was something I haven't done before, and I
Well,
mean,
if
I
it's
did
something
it.
you haven't done before, then don't complain about not making it to the jury when it wasn't your goal anyways.
Oh my god, it literally was. Oh my god, you love to make things deep when it's literally not that deep.
I'm not. I mean, you're
Like,
just saying.
why do you
should've-
you pretended this whole time to be such a nice person? You're just so against drama. You're just so like you don't want to do this and that, but you're a bitch. Like,
Oh, like I said, like I said,
Nikita will never.
Why?
If it's
you have a
Tin Gauge
problem for
related
what?
people, Nikita will never make Final Two again because he has shown himself for his true self.
Like,
I
what's
mean,
the
like I
issue? Like,
said-
there's literally no issue, and like you're making things out of nothing. Like that sounds like something I would do. Like,
I'm not
really?
doing anything, but like I said, you can't be upset you didn't make jury
No
if it
one's
wasn't your fault.
upset. I literally told Michael, "Thanks, sis."
But
Bye.
you just said you should have made it to the jury, but you didn't put in the effort to get there.
Oh God, Lord
And
Jesus! I'd probably say I should have won, and then, well, you're the reason why you didn't win.
I mean,
Oh my God.
that's why I'm not going too deep on that. But like I said, if I'm not always competitive, but I tend to get really competitive. So at least
What? I don't believe you.
And that's what I was holding it back. I was venting in the confessional room, but now I don't have one, so none of you are safe.
Well, okay, Nikki, I got a question for you. If you were really
Oh my God.
competitive, if you were like super competitive, why was it that one challenge where like I guess you didn't have like all your scars or something that you didn't want to compete in the challenge?
The egg challenge?
Was it the egg challenge? Oh yeah, because you didn't want to take off your scarf.
No, it wasn't that. I was in the parking lot to go get the eggs, but Michael didn't want to let me go get them when we took 20-minute breaks because he didn't do the right email account. But I had to be, he said, well, we're just not going to do it.
What do you
then
mean he didn't do the right email account?
Because, like, he ordered a premium, like, account, but he used it on the wrong one. And then he was like, well, I guess we have to take a break and switch off to the other one. With, like, Jimmy, Yoshi, Tim, they all had to go on, like, 2 different calls. It's not that I didn't want to. If there was a will.
Like he went on the account and recorded on an account that didn't have premium?
Right. Yeah. Yes. And so, like, if there's a will, there is a way. And I would have competed in every single contest had I had the correct
Nikita,
opportunity.
you had plenty of time to get the eggs. You had like a week, or not maybe not a week, but like 3 days to get
3 days, yeah.
could have got them.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're complaining about me not giving you an extra 10 minutes is very disrespectful.
I'm not complaining. I was asked the question.
That thing that you had plenty of time to do is very disrespectful.
I'm not complaining. I was asked a question.
What's disrespectful is he said that I didn't deserve to be in the fucking
For the
jury.
people still on,
I mean,
this is
kinda
pretty
did.
much how the
You know, what
season
did
went.
Like, Pam,
Yeah,
what did
Tim's
you
not
do,
wrong.
Jeffrey?
As
Like,
usual, I
what
guess.
did you do?
This is pretty much how the season went. Nikita complains, Michael says you're being very disrespectful, gives the warning, and then rinse and repeat. Pretty much how this season went.
And then Tim addresses the audience as usual.
I don't get how somebody can pretend to be so nice but actually be so like disgusting.
Fake.
Like even I can't do that. Like even I I'm like honestly I'm fake and I really cannot I can't pull that off. Like how do you do that? Like I can't pretend to be nice to people for so long and then be like disgusting.
That
Like,
is
I
true.
really
That
like I can't
is
do
true.
that.
Just to clarify, I do view pretty much everyone in this cast a good friend, and I will be sending all of you like, "Hey, girl," like messages.
Please
Because
don't
I-
send me one, Nikita. I'm good.
I wouldn't.
I'm good.
I'm not gonna lie, I
TBC.
probably still am.
I don't want anything from you. I'm not bitter against Tim anymore. I mean, I
You're
I
bitter
can now
towards
see
the real person who sent
the
you
Tim
home.
and me situation, but Nikita, I want nothing to do with you again. I'm
Honestly,
really
it's not even about people sending people him. It's just like you literally have just shown. Like I haven't even been here the whole time, and like you have shown that you're literally not as you try to portray yourself. Like that's really, like at least own what you are. Like you literally have been. XD, I'm so nice. Like, oh my god, I'm so sweet. Oh my god, hey, like let's talk. Let's have a nice little conversation. And then all of a sudden, oh, you didn't deserve to do this. Oh, you did. Oh, ew. Like you didn't even do this in this game. Like, oh, what are you doing there? Like,
I mean, if I'm asked a question, I don't feel a need to lie about the answer, especially if it's
but
about
you felt the need to lie about, during the whole game.
Yeah, you lied a lot this fucking game.
I did because I felt a need to do so, and I don't feel a need to
You
hold
felt the
anything
need to
back
do
now.
so. Like, I would only lie if I had a chance of winning. Clearly, you had no.
And you went home pre-jury.
And that's okay with me.
Brian, I have a question.
Me too. That's the difference. I'm not okay with not doing well. I just,
And that's fine
in my
because I'm
head-
succeeding in other places.
I mean, like, in my head, in my fantasy, I don't apply for a game to not do well. My goal is always to be the person at the end. And I find it admirable.
I mean, and another goal that people should have is that I should lose or win knowing that I wasn't someone that I'm not. I mean, I lost, and I lost, and I don't think I lost any integrity over this game. I came in the same person and came out the same person.
I mean, I went in and then I left the same person minus one eyebrow. So.
I mean, I feel like I more or less.
I went in the game, and my intention was not to argue with Brian, but we still argued. But still, like,
but we
were not fake about it. Well, like, okay, I will. Well, I was being a little fake towards Brian, but we were not fake. Like, me and Brian, when we argue, we're not fake about.
And like, I'm over it. Like, the game is over, but like, just like, I couldn't imagine like. Honestly, I have said so many things in my career, but I just could have never imagined just pretending to be like so like godly and nice and I just like was a gift sent from heaven.
I fancy myself still the pure Christian virgin and the honeymoon sweetheart. I don't feel like I lost that along the way.
I mean, anyway.
Almost everybody here was fake, so it's honestly not really that surprising.
Me when I said that,
Damn, you weren't fake.
Jury that everyone had been fake.
Damn, you were so real.
I was real. I said how it was, but
I mean, you may not have been fake, but you also weren't there for most of it. You know what I mean?
Well, he was there for like everything.
Yeah, I was pretty much there a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, Cam
wasn't. You know who wasn't here?
You're literally discrediting my fucking game again.
The fakest bitch in this game literally was Lauren.
I mean, I will say I do feel kind of a certain way that in both of the games we made it together. You didn't really make much of a splash in either. You know what I mean? So like, there's not. Like I can't paint.
I mean, when you have a
full
schedule,
let's just face it, you voted the right person.
When you have a full schedule, I wouldn't commit either.
Clearly, I voted the right person.
I think I take away from this final two that maybe, I mean, I don't know. It's a tough question. If I was more blunt, because like clearly I haven't even gone into like the depths of my opinions. But even just the
clearly.
Yeah, like there's a lot of I'm keeping it all in for the confessional.
I bet you are.
But it's like,
do we get to see people's confessional groups?
Like, if I really like go into like how I actually feel about these people, it could easily turn into.
Okay, but the thing is, you shouldn't even be hiding. Like if you have a problem, then say your problem. Like I don't get it. I don't want to go into it. Sweetie, go into it. Are you scared or something? Like,
but
I have known you for years, and you've literally pretended to be a nice person for years. Like I don't understand why all of a sudden, like you just flipped a switch and now you're so different.
I mean, outside of games, I do tend to come off a bit harsh and heavy on people. And of course I try and tone that down in games, but I don't think that makes me like an evil person. And
besides, just an extremely fake, untrustworthy person.
Well, I don't think you can really critique my game when, again, you didn't even make it past the first 4 evictions.
Okay, I would like to say something here. So somebody's active. 1 second.
I think it's Brian.
Going into this game, Nikita and I were not like on the best terms, but I think that it would be a good experience for the both of us in our relationship or whatever you want to say, that we have him on the season, and by about week 7, I started telling production, I'm so glad we had Nikita on this season. I'm so glad because he proved me wrong. What I thought about him was completely wrong. Well, then there was the week 7 veto, and Nikita proved me right, which I normally don't want to be unprofessional about anything. However, I think Nikita was very condescending to not only production, but the other house guests, which is why I believe that he ended in the place that he did. And the reason that we are having this conversation now, I think that you do not know when to stop arguing with somebody. I think that is more of a maturity thing, that I think you are still very young. And I think that is a reason that you do some of the things that you do. And I hope that this is a learning experience for you, because I think that you deep down are a good person, and I hope that someday we can become friends. But all I can say is that what I thought from the beginning, I have found through this game was true. So, which I
also, Michael, with the cast assessment, are we going to be able? Is that going to be like posted on Tangage or sent to us privately?
I should be able to post it on the Tangage.
Oh, also, Michael,
yes,
tomorrow, maybe Wednesday, I will be sending you a pair of eyes. I need you to recolor. Thank you. Mwah.
Oh yeah, Michael, what is the prize for winning? I remember I asked that, but I don't think I ever remember.
It's literally nothing, sis.
So there's not a technical prize. However, the top 5 will all be receiving, at some point once I receive a shop, will be receiving the 1984 Golden Age shirt.
Girl, Bria, shut up. You're going to wear that 1984 shirt for a good 0.5 seconds.
It's not let me tell y'all something, okay?
I think
Jimmy
Jimmy should give his shirt to Grace.
Okay, just because he made it, I mean, she didn't make it far enough. Maybe
yeah,
he didn't
but Grace didn't deserve to get 6.
I'm going to literally catch up to Brian's gift count, and I'm going to.
Sweetie, oh, please. I can probably get 25 gifts in my sleep. Don't try.
I remember, oh my God, y'all, this is a throwback, like, whenever, but, like, I used to be Brian's personal stylist, so.
Oh, I mean, back, like, 600 days ago? Yeah.
But I mean...
By the way, Cameron, I'm gonna really need you to, log in one day and help me gift, because, like, you're slacking.
I kind of have more of a life now.
I can't trust the Thumper 91 to gift for me. She's gonna be like, I'm on mobile. I'm gonna be a bit slow. She's probably gonna miss.
Like, my computer, it literally does not have any internet for some reason.
Then why don't you get, Lauren?
On that same note, Michael, you said that the pre-juror knew not to talk to the jury. I'm pretty sure he messaged all of us at one point asking us to gift him. So...
No, what do you want? Okay, well, at this point, I am going to stop the recording. So thank you to everybody who followed this season. Congratulations to Bria, Nikita, and Yoshi on making the final 3. Thank you guys for such a great season. Season 4 applications will be out very soon. So if you would like to give this a shot, the shot is very close around the corner. So thank you, everybody. And this has been for the Golden Age.